Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you have not been following me on TikTok at Miss Hannah, the link for it will be down below so you can go ahead and follow me. But if you have, you will have noticed that I got new glasses. And my hair is being weird tonight. I got new glasses for reasons that my head always constantly hurting. Time and these are supposed to help a little bit with it. Also, with obviously my vision and for sun and stuff. Anyways, we are here for the April TBR. I'm taking my socks off for this because I'm getting warm just thinking about it. Before we do that, I would like to share what I read for the month of March for review. First of all, I wanted to let you guys know for the month of March that I am showing you guys 4 books, but I technically read 6. I just don't have any physical copies of 2 of the books with me because one got returned to its original public library and the other one got returned to school as I took it home by accident. And so I also don't have slips for them either because I didn't want to count them as books that I've read for my 50-year challenge on GoodReads, but it apparently does count because they were quite big books. So I read the first and original Dog Man by whoever wrote Captain Underpants. And I gave that book, I want to say I actually gave that one a 3rd star and the other one a 4 stars. Just because it was really difficult for me to read. And you may say, how could Dog Man be really hard to read? It's a graphic novel for kids. And that's because there was a lot of grammatical errors that were intentionally made because technically it is written by fictional characters that are kids, and they make a lot of inappropriate jokes, they have a lot of grammar errors, a lot of spelling errors, stuff like that, and it just made it really hard for me to enjoy it. I just picked it up, read it, put it down, and I'm like, I'm never picking this up again or anything to do with this series. Well, then a couple of weeks later, meaning last week, I read Dog Man's Mothering Heights, which I think is the 10th book in the series, and I gave that one a 4 stars. It was a little bit better. The writing definitely had gotten better. You could tell it was more mature and the things were different, but the plot was just so bleh. Like, nothing really happened, and the action didn't come until the end of the story, and it didn't last very long. And once again, the inappropriate jokes just didn't really suit me. There's a lot of dust on my mirror, I'm noticing, and it's bothering me. So those were the 2 technical kids books that I read that I didn't mean to pick out, but I did. So let's back it up here to what I actually read for my TBR for the month of March. Right here we have Best Friends by Shannon Hale and Luan Pham. This is a graphic novel for kids, as you can tell. I have both labels here. I finished this on March 9th, and I rated it 3 stars. I would say I rated this 3 stars just because it was really hard for me to figure out why, because it was literally at the beginning of March that I finished this. But let me tell you, it kind of dragged versus the other one. I think it was because I couldn't relate to it as much, being a 6th grader, middle schooler who was fascinated with boys. I was fascinated with boys in a sense, but not in this kind of way. And dealing with friends, I can't remember exactly how I dealt with friends in middle school, but it felt like it was falling apart for me. And there is one more book in this series. I do not have it. Hopefully one day I will be able to read it or find it and be able to read it. It is Friends Forever, which is the last one. And so, yeah. I'm glad I got that one out of the way so I can finally get rid of this book and not think about it ever again. My pile for my free little libraries, if you didn't watch my last video that came out this past week, that I was on spring break and I had a big pile of books to return to places, and I actually did it more than once. So I did a whole bunch of filming on Monday where I was returning books to Hartford. And then on Tuesday, I went to Ocon to me. And some of those books ended up going back into even more free little libraries, including more of the board books. And I am now out of board books for TikTok, and I put all my sped books back, or short books, back in there. So I no longer have any of those to read for TikTok. And so when it came for me to do TikTok today, by the way, I'm filming on Thursday, I have no content to give out because I didn't have a board book or a sped book or a short book to read. I also couldn't start my new series that I wanted to do because the books were here at home and I was not home at the time to be able to get them. I also put a poll out for my new chapter by the day book, and nobody actually voted on what book it was gonna be. I have a feeling I know which one I'm gonna pick anyways. But that book was here at home too, so I couldn't film that either. So if there is a TikTok from tonight that's on there, it's because after I was done filming here, I decided I needed to do something about it. If there's not, then I didn't do anything about it. But the pile is now piling back up with more books. I am currently on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books for the free little library hunting. So we're getting there, and there's a couple more books to be added onto that pile. So the next book that I read in the month of March was what I consider part of my 2026 genre bingo board, and that was Christian fiction. Is this book right here. This is The Penny by Joyce Myers and Deborah Bedford, and it was rated 3.9 stars, but I rated it 4 stars, and I finished this on March 26th. So not too long ago, so I can actually give you guys a good reason why I gave it 4 stars. I gave it 4 stars because it was a great story, but it really dragged in the beginning. There wasn't a lot of action going on, and throughout the whole entire book, it didn't feel like any action going on, which is why it wasn't an action book. But for it to be Christian fiction, it was about a girl who found God through the process of finding a penny on the side of the road, and how giving pennies away felt like doing little acts of faith, and her learning about how we should learn to forgive people and that God has a plan for everybody and stuff like that. And I enjoyed that. I really did. I almost cried actually from one part in this book, but I didn't. And that's all I can say about this book. It's a very interesting read. I know that this is a quite older book. It's from 2007, but I suggest that if you're into wanting to learn a new genre, or if you are a faith reader, Christian reader, whatever, you should definitely read this if you haven't. This was a gift from my brother Micah for Christmas, so I will definitely not be giving that book away, but I don't know if I'll ever read it again. Let me know down below if you receive books as gifts and you read them. What do you do with them after? If you never plan on reading them again, do you just leave them on your bookshelf to have aesthetics, or do you end up giving it away to somebody else, or what do you do with it? Because I am totally lost with it. I'm also lost to do what to do with that Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. If I should just put it back in a free little library, if I should keep it because I have more parts of the series, or what should I do with it because I'm so lost. Okay, This next book here, if you had watched my last video with the Free Little Library, I said there was a book I got from the Shorewood Free Little Library. I finished it, I loved it, and now I don't want to put the book back. And that is this book right here. This is The Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Lori Gilmore. And this book came out last year of March 18th. And it's rated 3.8 stars, but I gave it a 4-star. And I finished this on the 25th of March. And I loved this book so much I couldn't put it down. It is a small town spicy romance. And let me tell you, the spice in here gets pretty good. The chemistry that is between Archer and Iris is something that I wish I had, and the love between Archer and Olive is something I want for a future child of my own. And it made me want to go, and I could go backwards or I could go forwards with this, because there's there's two books that are after this book. The third one doesn't come out until May that I could read. Or I could go back and read the 3 or 4 books that are before this one. And this has characters in it from the past books that continue growing. And this actually does feel like the vibes of Gilmore Girls, the TV show. If you guys haven't seen that, you should definitely go watch it, because this gives the exact same feeling of it, just with more spice. And it made me want to watch it, but it's not the right season for it right now. And so I'm going to definitely be keeping this. I'm going to be waiting for my chance to maybe find another one of these books in a Free Little Library. Otherwise, I will definitely be saving my money to find another one of these books somewhere else. And then lastly, oh no, what happened to this page here? Did it get wet? Okay, well, that's a shame. My last book that I read for March here is Fish in a Tree by Linda Mullally Hunt. It was a YA fiction from 2015, February 5th. It's rated 4.2 stars. I finished this sometime this week. I don't remember what day, because I didn't write it down. And I also didn't write down what I liked about it. So let me check real quick to make sure that I even gave it an evaluation before I tell you guys. You guys did find it funny, and maybe you guys think I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to my little tags that I have for my books, but those things drive me nuts when I can't find them. And when I was going Free Little Library hunting on Monday, I was making sure when I was going through every single book that I took the tag out that I read. If I didn't read it, but I had a tag in it, I just left the tag in there for somebody else to use. Most likely because if I didn't read it, and it was from the Bookish Advent calendar that I did for December, it didn't have anything written on it except for where I got it from. And that's okay, because it went back to its original spot. Anyways, I have a lot of books for April, and you might say I am overdoing the amount of books that I am reading. Let me tell you, I have 6 books sitting in front of me. I read 6 books for March, 6 books for April. It would have been 7, but I just put it back on the shelf, and I said I'll give it one more month, because this might be a little bit much, and I don't even know how I'm going to be able to keep up with all of them, because I currently started 4 of them, and my 5th one here, I technically have already read part of it, and I read it over again. Anyways, so on my 2026 genre bingo card, this book popped up. And this is because this is for the new genre that I'm reading of sports. This is the book called Tangerine. It is by Edward Bloor. It was published in 1997. It is sports. It would have cost me $17 at the bookstore, but I actually got this from school in the discard pile. It is rated 3.5 stars on GoodReads and is 294 pages. And just like I had promised from the past videos, I can open the back of this up slightly so you guys can see that the cover here is just orange with blue, and the border is just obviously orange writing. This is Tangerine. Nothing too exciting. Obviously, it's from a 90s book. It's not supposed to go color. This is about a boy. His name is Paul. This is Paul on the front. And he has a very hard time seeing. His vision is terrible. So he has these very thick glasses to help him see. He moves with his family to Tangerine, which is a place in Florida. And in this place, a lot of weird things happen that don't normally happen. And at some point, he joins the soccer team to prove to his parents that he could do sports too, just like his brother Eric, who is always sent over attention because he plays football and he's really good at it. And I feel like Griffin, everybody remember who Griffin is, would relate to this book a lot, based off because he only has one sibling, and I'm pretty sure that person gets the spotlight a lot more than he does because of their talent over his wanting to be talent. So this will be fun to read. I am already on, well, these don't necessarily go by chapter, as they just go by like dates. And so if I can remember exactly where I was to be able to put this tag in, I just got done learning. Oh, I had a sticker that I had this for. For this one, I don't have a need to be finished by date because I started it so early. So, like, I am already what can be considered to be, like, done with, like, chapter 1, almost chapter 2, in a sense. This is going to be my sticker for the month of April on the back of my phone. I don't know if you guys know that because you don't see the back of my phone, but I have a sticker collection. And I love putting stickers on my phone, but usually it's only one at a time that showcases the color for the month or whatever, because I have a color dedicated to each month. And April is light blue, so this is what everybody picture me for my poll. I'm screaming OCD, I don't know why. Next book that I already started reading is this one here. This is technically another kid's book, so I'm technically reading double this month for it. This is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, yeah. Published February 1st of 1999. This is a YA fiction. This is also a banned book as of 2023. This would have cost me $15 at the bookstore, but I found this in a free little library in Ocon. And it is rated 4.2 stars on GoodReads, and it is 206 pages. Now, when I say it's a banned, I have read banned books in the past. I just haven't mentioned them on my thing here, but I had to mention this one because it was so recent, only 3 years ago. And that's because there is a lot of heavy topics in here. This is written in, like, the style of letters. And I'm already on page 18. And it's already deals with somebody killing themselves with suicide. And that can be triggering to people. And this one is also dealing with, like, family issues already, and it's great. I am loving it, and obviously this is once again one of those books where I can take my time with it and read as far as I want to. But as you can tell, I was already enjoying it. It's really easy to get really far in books when you're on spring break. I remember this time last year, I was reading a lot of books, but that's because I had a lot of time in school to be able to read them. And right now, I can't read at school, and so I will see if I end up getting through all these books or if I end up having to like stretch some out, because I was gonna already do that with my next book here, but I don't know. So my next book here, I already started a long time ago. I'm taking a guess that I was gonna read this back in June of last year, and because I was like starting to get ready to move in June, I didn't have a lot of time to read, and because it was summer out, I was dying down on wanting to read it all. But I'm already on chapter 5 for this book. I might have to go back and reread them, but I haven't started it yet. So I was originally supposed to do The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins for this month. I was really excited to start reading this mystery book. I was like, I just finished a romance book that was so good, and now I want mystery. And then I ended up buying a book that you guys are gonna see soon that basically trumped it. So this book here, I will be trying to read all the way through this time. So this is The Picture of Dorian Gray. I got this last year, and let me tell you, I was excited. This is by Oscar Wilde. It was published June 1890. I know, super, super old. It is as a philosophical fiction. That's a big word for me to be able to say. It would have cost me $10 at the bookstore, but I actually got this for my birthday. Griffin bought this for me last year. It is rated 4.1 stars, and it is 253 pages, and I'm already on chapter 5, wherever that is. And this is just a book. I can't tell you much about it, but let me just tell you, it is about this very handsome man here, Dorian Gray. And I'm excited to be able to read all the way through for once. I have the tag out, and now I have to be able to find where the tag goes, because some of these, they have Roman numerals for their chapters, and after a while, I can't remember. I'm trying to find it. I'm gonna cut this part out. Can't be that far in, can I? Oh shoot. That's okay, I'll just reread it. So the next book that I have here has been on my TBR since I started reading, like picking up the whole entire reading thing. And I'm trying to think where I got this book from. It says it on there that I bought it. So I'm taking a guess that I bought it from Goodwill. And it is also a very old tag because of the setup that I have for it. So when I used to have, this is a book by the way, when I used to do these tags, it used to say, instead of saying the genre, it would say extra, meaning like extra information. You know how like books at the top, they'll read like New York Times bestseller or USA Today or whatever. That I usually have on this, and I got rid of that because it turns out to me most books are New York Times bestseller, and they're not as special as I thought they were going to be. So I changed that to genre, and obviously this one has the genre on it. So this is The Ministry of Time by Kalani Bradley. It was published May 7th, 2024. So this book is already 2 years old. This is a sci-fi romance, or is a sci-fi rom-com. I haven't gotten any laughter out of it yet. I am already on page 44, and I have to be on page 88 by the end of this week because this is a Target book. If you don't know what the Target thing means, it just means that I set quarter targets for the 4 weeks of each month, so I can always stay on track with reading, especially books like the adults books, because they could take a little bit longer for me to read because I have to read them with audio versus the kids books where I don't use audio for them as much. But this would have cost me $29 at the store. I got this for $5. I want to say I got it from Goodwill. I thought maybe the tag was still in here, but it is not. It is rated 3.6 stars on GoodReads, and it's 352 pages. And the extra note was that this is a book of the month from May of 2024, which is the jacket that's on here. I was going to say the book is nothing fancy. This is the standard book of the month cover. I would love to get the actual copy, but I will keep this one until then. It just says, a boy meets a girl, the past meets the future, a finger meets a trigger, the beginning meets the end. And so far I have been loving this. The connection between Graham and what's the girl's name? I already forgot what the girl's name is. I forget what the girl's name is. I don't know if they ever say the girl's name yet. Interesting. I just know the guy's name is Commander Gore or Graham. And he was a lieutenant commander in an expedition, and he died from, I'm guessing, starvation to death, and they extracted him from his time zone, which is like 18 something, to modern day England, and he is learning to adapt with this lady. And for a whole year, he has to adapt with her to the new world, the new era. And slowly in the story, they fall in love. So it's pretty cute. So I've been putting that off, but now I'm reading it. And my audio for it, I didn't realize because it was set in England that it was going to be a British audiobook. So that's what's slowing me down, is the British terms, and because the person has a British accent, it's really slowing me down a lot. The next one I have, obviously, is the graphic novel that I am reading for the month. This is a thick one. This is Hey Kiddo by Jarrett J. Krosaska. I'm sorry. I don't really know how to say that. This is published October 9th, 2018. Obviously, it's a graphic novel, but it's considered like a YA one because of how big it is. It would have been $15, but I found this in a free little library in Wapaka. This is rated 4.1 stars on GoodReads, and it's 298 pages. That is a hefty-duty graphic novel. And this has a lot of heavy topics in it of dealing with like a broken family that has like addiction issues and stuff, and going through with his family. My sister and my brother, my younger brother, they both read this when they were in school. And so when I picked it up, I was like, maybe I should read this. It's also signed, by the way. Not that that matters. And it also has a basement smell to it, which is weird. And the last book that I am reading for April, you guys would never guess this. If you have been following me on Instagram, you know what book that I got. So it was recently my birthday. And for my birthday, I can't remember if it was Grace or Brandon, they got me a gift card to Barnes & Stable. Barnes & Noble. And I could pick out one book with that gift card. And on my Instagram, I had posted 2 books that, like, a week prior that I really wanted if I had the money for it. So I went into Barnes & Noble and bought this book. And I'm super excited, and I just couldn't hold back and putting it on my shelf to read later. So I am reading it now for the month of April, and I am already on chapter 5 because I had to get it, and I started reading it right away on the day that I got it because I was so happy. You guys ready for it? By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, you need to go follow me. The link is for it down below at YouPrettyLittleThing18, where I do try my best to actually post stuff. I got this book right here. This is And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. It was published February 24th, 2026. So literally this has been out for only a little bit over 1 month. It is a romance, hence now you guys understand why this romance trumped a mystery book, because romance is my number 1 genre, with history being my subgenre, and mystery taking 3rd place. Hence by my sister constantly giving me mystery books to be able to read. It would have cost me $19 at the bookstore, but obviously I got it with my birthday money. It is rated 4 stars on GoodReads and is 438 pages. And this is a follow-up story. This is the sequel. This is Heartstrings series number 2, the book. And this is following up from First Time Caller. I literally have it on my shelf there. That's how good it is and how much I have been waiting for this book to be able to get it and read it. This follows the story of Jackson and Delilah. They're both rivals, frenemies. Delilah works at the news station where she's supposed to be covering the weather, but she's been doing crazy whack job interviews that her nasty terrible boss has been giving her. And Jackson, he is the meteorologist at the radio station, the same one that Aiden Valentine works at, the guy from First Time Caller. And they have to do a partnership project together where there is going to be this historical snowfall storm in Baltimore. And they have to travel to where it's going to be hitting the hardest and broadcasting it together. And so they have to try making a connection and partnering up together to be able to get this broadcast out. So they have to try becoming best friends, not becoming best friends, but having a friendship, and being stuck in a room with each other during this might develop some chemistry that could have some sparks flying, but we're not exactly sure yet. But I am excited to see where this is going. I have been enjoying it so far, and my bookmark I actually got for my birthday as well. It fits the whole entire length of this book, and so it has been perfect for it. And this one I don't have the tag in it for the targets, the quarter targets, but I should, because this trumped it trumped a girl in a train. But I think that I might be starting to do less and less of the targets, just because the targets make me stressed out, and it makes me feel like I need to rush through the stories. And without the targets, I can go at any speed I want to. And I realize when I don't the targets, sometimes I do work a little bit faster to go through the book, but I'm enjoying the books even more. And so that is all I got for my TBR for April. I have decided for the chapter by the day, I think it's going to end up being Charlotte's Web that I'm going to be reading. I'm not exactly sure if anybody else is going to do the poll that I had up. We will see. I am super tired and I'm starting to really feel it. So make sure that you guys like this video if you've been enjoying the TBRs or the free little library hunts. Subscribe down below if you would like to see more book content. I usually post on Saturdays and or Sundays. Turn on the notification bells because sometimes I do get wonky like I did this past week with posting. I've been wanting to post a lot more and I've been wanting to edit and post more, but I'm not pushing out as much content as I would like to be able to. Make sure you follow the socials down below. For Instagram at YouPrettyLittleThing18. At my GoodReads, I forget to mention that I have GoodReads. You should go follow me and we can be friends and we can give each other recommendations for books. Also, the main channel's on there for you to subscribe. The second channel, which is for kids at Miss Hannah's Reading Corner, is on there. I do chapter books and other content on Wednesdays and picture books on Saturdays. And also go follow the TikTok at Miss Hannah 54, I think it is. I forget what the number is all the time because it's random. And you should go and follow that one because I have been posting all week long and this has been the only day that I've taken a break. But I usually post chapter by the day books. I do sped books or short books. And I do board books and my new series that's coming out with the mystery books, I think tomorrow. Anyways, I will see you guys again in another video.